let's talk about Monty Williams and the Monty Williams effect. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. And can, the Pistons getting Monty Williams and Tice, some free agents to come to Detroit. Could it, kind of entice some guys to want to come to Detroit and the trade destination. That's a trade destination as well too. Not really talking about the sign and trade guys, but and obviously the first name that come to mind is Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul. I don't think we need Kevin Durant at this point. Chris Paul, could provide some stability, in the starting line, in the lineup with Cade and Ivy. It could work, but or just helping them out as a part-time coach or helping a young team. I think him and Monty Williams were, and obviously Booker too, are some of the main ingredients to kind of get the Suns turned around pretty quick. And maybe, the Pistons can absorb that contract, giving Phoenix some flexibility, maybe giving them a couple parts they might need or whatever. So I'm not opposed to Chris Paul. I don't think the price would be too steep, but you're just getting them there to help, speed the process up of winning and showing those guys what it takes to be winners. Devin Booker is going to be the most enticing name, people say. Obviously, the only issue that I see with Devin Booker is obviously you would have to give up Ivy or Cade Cunningham. And I think most people would be willing to do that. You have to give up the 5th pick as well. And then in free agency, it becomes, that much more important. Who do you get to be the wing? Who do you get to be the 4 in free agency? Who can you get here to be the 4 and the 3? And do you have enough money left over after you find the 4 and the 3 to fill out the bench? So, if it's assuming you can, they probably going to want Bogdanovic. They probably going to want Ivy. They probably going to want the 5th pick. And then, you taking on Booker contract. Then who do you get to fill out the rest of the roster is the question. Who do you get at the 3? Who do you get at the 4? Let's say in return you can swing a Chris Paul and Devin Booker and take that contract on, but I'm not sure that's going to work. So Booker's interesting. In my opinion, I wouldn't mind having him. Great shooter, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trust in Ivy talent. I'm going to trust in Cade Cunningham's talent. And I'm going to just go ahead and pass. And Kevin Durant, I think he's a declining superstar physically. And I think what he has to figure out is, the next chapter of his career as far as changing his game and not, predicated on just blowing by people, taking people off the dribble, really playing it, kind of doing what Michael and Kobe did, playing more back to the basket type of ball and stuff of that nature. I think that's kind of what he got to figure out, but I don't think it's a fit. I think Booker is interesting, like I said before. If you can get the essential pieces to go with Booker, and it'd been nice if they would have hit on some of them other picks like Stewart and Killian Hayes, and they got players that can help them, but apparently they don't have that right now. And so if you get Booker, let's say you take Booker and Cade Cunningham, and okay, then how much money you got left over? Can you find somebody at the 3? Can you find somebody at the 4 to help you? And I just think you're giving up all of that, and it's intro, but you still got holes. Your biggest holes is still defending the wings. So, and I think Kevin Durant is kind of past his best. Chris Paul, is interesting. Obviously, you wouldn't need DeAndre Ayton, nor, like I told y'all last year, do you want him. He's mentally, timid. I don't want to say weak, but it is what it is. So, just looking at those guys, really the prime candidate, I think the most obtainable candidate is probably Chris Paul, but the salary is probably going to make it look kind of funny. The most wanted one is probably Devin Booker, having roots here, loving Detroit, and the whole 9. So, but I do think they're going to run it back in Phoenix, maybe move Chris Paul and run it back with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and 8 and try to build around them. I think that's what they're going to do. But I would, like I said, if I could make a move for Devin Booker, I would understand why. But then you have to have a plan in place for the wings. Now, he had 2 other guys that played with him in Phoenix, and Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. They guarded 3s and 4s. Bridges showed that. I think he kind of got in his Jeremy Grant moment out there in Brooklyn, where he got the chance to have a ball in his hand. He got the chance to show that he could be a primary scorer, obviously on the playoff winning team, because they wasn't winning much with the whole Durant and Kyrie thing. So they wasn't winning much there anyway, and he showed he could put the ball on the court, but coming here, we would just need him to be able to defend and shoot threes, and maybe with the second unit, or maybe in critical situations where we need him to get his own bucket. And he already under contract, so would he want to come play in Monty and kind of go back to that role? You know, it's different to be back in that role in Phoenix and you win, and you might not win here and you fall in love with scoring the basketball or something like that. So, like I said, I think the natural fit is more Cam Johnson. I think he's a free agent. Obviously, you could sign and trade with Brooklyn, and, you know, you can get him something for his loss. I mean, obviously, you could trade for Mikal Bridges. It all depends on what he believes in his role. I know I was watching a little bit of his interview on the Pivot podcast where he talked about how expensive it was living in Brooklyn. He had more space for cheaper in Arizona, down there somewhere in Phoenix area. So I understand that, but you know, like I said before, I just think for him, you know, you got to understand, I know there'll be opportunities within his offense and maybe with the second wave of players where he can go out there and get his own basket, but I do think Cam Johnson is more the natural fit. Yeah, I think he more the natural fit, catch and shoot, defend, but then, you know, could you swing both is the question, and would both help you? And I think with having Wiseman and kind of having Isaiah Stewart, that'd be interesting to kind of match up with thicker fours, but more fours are more kind of built like Tobias Harris and, you know, Paolo, kind of the hybrid guy. You know, Draymond, they not going to beat you up on the block. Pablo will, but, you know, you kind of want to have that thicker guy behind them. And it may be some other guys in free agency where you could say, well, he thicker, we could rotate some other guys in there or whatever, or maybe you can go make a deal. I don't know. But I think you can get away with it because of the size you got. You can throw in Bagley. If you keep him, you could throw in Stewart to kind of bang a little bit with coming the thicker guys down there. So it could work. You can get both of them. I mean, you know, so, you know, you hear they might, it was rumors, like just small rumors, they could be interested in Kyle Kuzma, but nor does he shoot the ball well, nor does he defend well. That's not what you need. Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, they shoot it well and they defend it well. So, and this Cam Johnson especially is comfortable in his role, a little injury history, but that was not new in the NBA. So, long story short, I do think Monty can have influence on bringing these guys here, kind of doing what, you know, some other coaches done, bringing guys in their system that's comfortable. And some of the guys that he played with is also a need in Detroit. Defensive guys, catch and shoot guys that know their role, guys that develop a little bit beyond him when they went to different places. So, I mean, if you were to add Mikal Bridges and, you know, Cam Johnson to the lineup, it'd be very interesting. I mean, the shooting get better, the defense get better. You get veteran leadership. They made a championship run. They've been around, you know, a bad team, and they turned it around pretty fast. So Monty has some guys implemented, but I just think you really shooting for one. And if I had to shoot for one, I love Mikal Bridges, but if he ain't in love with doing what he's doing in Brooklyn, you know, I love him, but I'm more of a Cam Johnson guy, but I would love to have both if you could, and that'd solve a lot of problems right then and there. But, you know, we'll see. But Monty got a lot of guys, you know, he love around the league, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, it's going to make it a destination. People going to want to come pay for the brother. People going to want to come and be here and play with him, and they know what type of man he is, and the man of integrity and good dude. So I think it will help, especially his influence amongst guys that's played for him, not named DeAndre Ayton. So, yeah, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, TikTok. Appreciate everybody support me on TikTok as well, too. Peace.